Okay.
That week, I knew that God was real and that He loved me, and I'd never be alone.
Coming out of the water, it was different.
This is my story.
This is my story. This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is our story. Hi, I'm Clinton Recky. I attend the 10:30 service. I come with my entire rest of my family every Sunday. I'm Garrett Recky. I also usually attend the 10:30 service, and I'll usually come with my family as well. My family's awesome. I have my two amazing parents, Jody and Jason. They're phenomenal. I love them so much, like more than I could ever describe. And I also have my twin brother Garrett. He's amazing. I have my little brother Liam, and I have my two younger sisters, Mabry and Ellen, who are both spark plugs, but they're amazing. We love them. Yeah, we do a lot of sports. Our family's all over the place. We're very busy, which is exciting, but also stressful at times. So it can definitely, cause some tension at times, but it's fun, and we all enjoy being active and doing things that we enjoy. And our parents are both super supportive of everything that all of us do, whether it's soccer or wrestling or football or track and field or whatever it is that we want to do. They're always super supportive of it, which we greatly appreciate. Yeah, so right now over the summer we both lifeguard at Splash Cove, and then during the winter months and into the spring we do referee youth wrestling tournaments to try to make some extra money during the school year. Yeah, I do the same stuff. So I'm planning to attend Millikan University, stay here in town. I'm going to be studying business management there, and then I'm also going to be on the wrestling team there. I'm planning on attending University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, which is about 6.5 hours north from here in Wisconsin, and I plan on majoring in journalism and being on the wrestling team there. Business is just kind of a very general thing. There's a lot of different routes you can go to it. I would say right now if I was able to be under management for a sports team, if I was able to go not necessarily be on the athletic side, but on the business side of a minor league baseball team or something like that, I think that'd be a really cool thing. So that'd probably be my dream job. But I mean, I think anything in the business management realm, I think I'd be excited for it. If I could work in journalism as someone who makes media content, making documentaries or videos or something like that, I think I would really enjoy that. But I also would just enjoy even just working in papers. But my main goal is journalism, is to eventually go into sports journalism. I love communicating with people. I love creating content that people can enjoy, and I just love sports in general. Any sport I'll watch. So I know that if I can get into the field of sports journalism and do something, that'd be something that I would love and enjoy every day that I get to do. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's a big change. It's our entire lives. We've been right there by each other every single step of the way. It's I see him every single day, and we do the exact same routine every single day. And we go to school together, and we go to wrestling practice together, and all of these things we've always done together. So, having 9 months of the year where we're not going to see each other as close or as much is definitely going to be different. But we also knew that going into this college search, that was going to be a possibility. And, obviously if we had ended up choosing the same school and going together, that would have been awesome. But we also understood that, if he had a school that was better for him, his financial aid package was better, his major was better there, and I had a different school where I could have the same thing, that we would be okay with splitting up. And obviously, like I said, it's a big change, but it's something we're excited for and to see where this next step of life takes us. I would say it was definitely really hard at first. The first week or so that we kind of known that we were going to make a decision about where we were going to go, and just knowing that it was different places was really difficult. Just knowing that we were going to be apart for the first time in 18 years for a major part of time. We've done the exact same things growing up. We pretty much lived a lot of the same life together. But I think just reflecting on it and knowing that it's an opportunity for both of us to go meet new people, create new friends, learn new things, and that at the end of the day, eventually we're going to have to separate, right? Eventually we're going to live our entire lives together, and it's just happening maybe 4 or 5 years earlier than it would have. But also just knowing that that's okay and it's part of God's plan, and that he has plans for me in Eau Claire that he doesn't have for Clinton, and he has plans for Clinton and Decatur that he doesn't have for me. So my favorite sport's wrestling. I mean, obviously I have other things I do. I love playing video games with my friends and my brothers. I love going on hikes. I love doing lots of outdoorsy things, but I would say wrestling is probably like my biggest hobby or pastime, just because, I mean, I fell in love with it since I was little, and so it's my thing. Yeah, I would agree. My favorite like sport I would say is wrestling, but I also like wouldn't consider it necessarily a hobby or a pastime. I take pictures, shooting videos, like videography stuff. Like he said, hiking, being outdoors, playing pickleball. Jimmy John's because it's better than Subway, and a turkey tom from Jimmy John's. That's the best. I love Uncrustables. Uncrustables have always been there for me, and I mean they're just so versatile in every situation. So I love say Uncrustables.
What flavor?
Strawberry.
Oh man.
I love strawberry.
I was right there with you. Mine is honey.
Ooh, the honey ones are good. Honey with like the chocolate in there.
Oh,
have you ever had any of those?
Yes.
Those are good. Those are really good.
I'm with you. Do you want to answer for each other?
I mean, I think it's kind of for both of us, and it gets on all feelers. We're really competitive. Yeah. Like we want to win at everything. So sometimes it gets to the extreme point where like we're overstepping boundaries that shouldn't be overstepped, or doing things we shouldn't be doing. But you know, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. But sorry, I don't know say that. Cut that out. Yeah, we definitely are very competitive, and you know sometimes that can bring out the best in us, but it can also sometimes bring out the worst in us. So I'd say that's definitely an annoyance that at least I have. I don't know if Clinton would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree that both of us like are extremely competitive, and so sometimes it's a good thing. Like whenever we're actually competing, like in an actual competition, it's good. But whenever we're playing Uno with the family, maybe it's not so good.
A little too cutthroat.
Yeah. Mine's probably Snapchat. It's probably my most used app. Probably Snapchat, and then like Spotify. I listen to a lot of music and like a lot of podcasts and stuff. So those are probably the top two.
It's a wrestling podcast that's put on this place called Full Wrestling. So I really like that one. I listen to Bryce Crawford. He has a podcast that I really like. He has a lot of different guests on there.
Instagram or the Whoop app. It's one of those two. The Whoop, it's like this.
What
like,
is that?
It's like this health tracker that I have.
Oh.
And it gives you like an insane amount of data.
You're not on it that much.
I'm on it a pretty decent amount. I've followed.
No, it's definitely Instagram.
It's definitely. It's one of the two. It's
definitely Instagram.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah.
I might be doom scrolling sometimes. Sometimes, you know, I keep up with people, follow things. I don't feel like, I don't know, yeah, probably mostly just doom scrolling, if I'm being honest. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I don't know why. I just always thought, like, Japan is the coolest place. And I don't know if it's because, like, I think they have, like, crazy robots and stuff like that. But I've always just, like, wanted to go see there and, like, experience it. Because, I mean, it just seems like a really cool, like, you know, very respectful place. And just, like, they have so much cool stuff that I feel like would be nice to experience. And their food's pretty good. So I could get behind that, too. I would say, if I were to go to one place, it'd probably be Italy. Italy's just, like, I think it's really pretty. There's a lot of, like, really obviously, like, Rome's there. So, that's a pretty famous city to visit, see a lot of cool things. I know it's very, like, walkable, so it's, like, you can get to everything pretty easily. And then also just, like, Italian is my favorite type of food. So, that's, like, there's nothing better than authentic Italian food. I might as well just go there and try all of it.
Agreed. Totally agree. Are you going to just try and learn some of the language, or just gonna go raw dog it?
I think I'm just gonna go send it. Like, I think that with like Google Translate now, I don't really need to worry about it. Like, I might learn like how to say hi, but that might be about it. Like, at this point, I can just be like, hey Siri, tell this person what I need you to tell them, and it'll take care of it. Yeah, I'd say probably I would be the same. I wouldn't like commit too much time with it. I might like buy a book for it and like read 2 pages of it and then not actually do it. But I would just go there, send it. I feel like there's also probably enough people that are in Italy that would probably know English. Like, I feel like it'd be probably pretty interchangeable. So I think I would just probably send it.
Yeah, there you go. So what would be your top souvenir that you would want to buy?
A cheese wheel.
A cheese wheel.
That's a good
How are you gonna get that on the plane?
I'll find a way. There's a way.
I don't know what I would get from Japan. I honestly have no idea. Ooh, a katana would be cool. I don't know if that would go on the plane.
How are you gonna get that on the plane?
A katana. If I could get a katana back home, that'd be really cool. Well, I think like the obvious answer is Jesus, but if we're like gonna go outside of like the biblical route, probably just like some of our presidents, like any of them, like just seeing
how the different state of our country was, because I mean, I think U.S. history is really cool and really interesting, just because I mean, it's where we've all come from, and so I think that's a super cool thing to look back at. So I think talking to them, especially like the people who were here at the very beginning, like I mean, George Washington might be like a common answer, but I think that it'd just be so cool to see his perspective and hear him talk about all of those things that went on.
Yeah, I would say probably either a president, like or a founding father, like Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton, somebody like that, or one of the disciples would be really cool to sit down and just talk about like what it was like even being around Jesus and like experiencing his fellowship.
Probably like "Growing Sideways" by Noah Kahan. That song's been on like repeat for me recently, and I know like I get songs on repeat, and then I eventually get tired of them. So that probably would happen though with whatever song I pick. So it'd probably be that one, if I'm being honest.
I would say, well, like, I feel like there's also like the kind of like what he said, like with the last question. If it was like a worship song, I'd say "Washed" by Elevation Rhythm. That's my favorite worship song. But if it's like a not worship song, I would say same artist, but I would say "Maine" by Noah Kahan. I really like that song.
I don't know if I like have one that's like definite, like this is like clear cut, but one that was super cool for me is my little sister Mabry is adopted from China. So like kind of the days leading up to that, and like the final moment of like meeting my parents at the airport and just like finally getting to see her, and like we just talked about her all this time. Like I knew that she existed, but I never like actually met her. I think that was like just such a cool experience to be like, hey, like I finally get to meet my little sister, and like this is all happening. So that's probably like my biggest one.
How old were you?
I believe she was 2 at the time, so I was probably 7. So I mean, I wasn't super old, but I was old enough to understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably getting baptized. I got baptized when I was, I think, 8 or 9 years old. I don't remember the exact age. But just, you know, like going through that whole process and like realizing that it was more than just my parents' faith that I had, that I need to have my own faith and kind of step forward into that. And I wouldn't say it was immediately after I got baptized that it was like, oh, this is your own thing, this isn't your parents' thing. But I would say that it helped push me towards that and just lead me towards living a life with God.
Anything to do like with COVID, that's probably the worst thing, just because that was something that completely shook the world. So I mean, that was probably the biggest thing that I've had that's like really affected me that closely, was just that whole thing. So I would say probably that, just that whole experience was probably my worst memory.
Yeah, I would agree with him that like we're really blessed that we haven't had to really experience a whole lot of you know, major terrible memories or terrible things that have happened in our lives. But I would also probably say I agree, like that's like the worst thing. Like I remember even here, it was in this building when like the whole shutdown got announced, because I used to do homeschool curriculum here, and I was getting ready to go to the youth state tournament, wrestling tournament, and it like that day it got announced that the day before we were supposed to go, it got announced that it was getting canceled and like the whole world was shutting down, and it was like crazy, and it was like for a 6th grader it was a lot to deal with, like, you know, seeing something that you put 4 or 5 years into just kind of crumbled down to pieces, and then also just dealing with all of like being inside, not being able to socialize with my friends, having my schoolwork like be way different. Like it was just such a, I think, pivotal part of my life, because one, I think it was a very, like a lot of kids develop around that age between like 6th and 8th grade, they grow a lot and they gain a lot of social skills and other skills and whatnot, and to kind of have that be different definitely was hard. And then just, you know, spending that much time with your family alone sometimes can get under your skin. Love you guys, but it can.
I mean, that's really interesting. I would have never really thought of it that way, because I was obviously an adult.
My parents have always been super strong in their faith, and they, since day one, I mean, they've always instilled those values in me, and so I think that was probably, I mean, the biggest person in my life. And I know that, like, for a lot of people, it goes the other direction, you know, they have, like, big encounters with God and, like, things like that, but, I mean, I just, since I've been little, it's just, this is what we do. And, I mean, obviously, when I was little, I didn't really understand. I was just, like, I go to church, and this God looks down on me, and he's taking care of me, and, like, he's amazing, and he's awesome, and he loves me so much. And, like, now I obviously understand that a little bit deeper, but I mean, since I've always, like, knew that was the case. It's not like I've ever been deprived of that information or told that that's not true. It's just, in my family, we've always been, like, we love God, and God loves us, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, I would say the same. My parents, from an early age, brought me up in the church. They really cared about me. They wanted me to have a faith of my own and establish that in me. But I'd also say that I've been blessed with plenty of other adults and friends that have brought me closer to God, that have helped me work, towards the path of Him. And I've been so blessed to have so many amazing people that have, pushed me to act in a way that honors God and continue to grow my faith, and continue just to be great role models for me, and what it's like to be a Christ-like man.
Like after COVID hit is whenever we ended up coming and switching to this church, to coming to Antioch. And I think that's been actually like a huge thing for me. And like in that time of COVID, like I was kind of starting to struggle with my faith, and like not that I was not disowning God or like running from God, but I was just like, it was the time where I needed to be taking accountability of becoming my faith, and I wasn't. And once I got to Antioch, felt like I was able to make a huge shift in that. And I think that was because of guys like Pastor Steve and, the amazing leaders that we have here. And so I think that because of COVID is the reason that we ended up stopping going to our other church. And I think that that was God closing that door and being like, hey, like, you learned a lot from here, and I think that they've given you a lot, but it's time for this door to close now, and we're going to open up this new door. And it led me to this awesome new door that I get to experience now.
I would say a door that God opened for me is attending the school I attend now. So I was homeschooled from kindergarten through 8th grade. We both were. But once we got to high school, we knew we wanted to compete in high school wrestling, and just wanted to be able to have kind of a high school experience before we went off to college. So we had a number of schools that we were considering attending. Obviously, we live in Eisenhower District, so we considered attending there. And then we reached out to St. Teresa, Decatur Christian, and at the time LSA, to see if they would start wrestling programs, because some of them had wrestling at the time. And the only one that got back to us that with a wrestling program was LSA, so we ended up attending there. And it's just been a blessing since I stepped in the building there. I've made so many friends that have led me towards God, that have helped me develop my relationship, and then I've also just met so many amazing people and role models that have pushed me towards God and helped me not only excel academically and athletically, but also spiritually, and have helped me grow into my relationship. And I think just being in a culture of Christianity is super important. Like, I think whenever I'm in the building every day where Christianity is pushed and God is pushed, and it's like, this is the way, the truth, and the life, it makes it so much easier for me to want to follow in that footsteps when I'm constantly surrounded by it. Because I think people don't realize, but your environment is so important, and the person you become is a product of your environment. So when you make your environment surrounded by Christ, you're going to naturally come more towards Christ.
Mabry was born over in China, and we're born in the United States. It's like those are thousands and thousands of miles away from each other. The odds that she ends up in our family is just astronomically small. There's just almost impossible that happens. But the fact that we got such a blessing, it's like, you know that was God, and you know that was Him working in that, and He had a plan for it. And there's really no other reason for it. There's no other explanation for it besides that. And so I think that was just such a cool thing for me and my family, that it was like that this blessing is so apparent that it's from Him, and we just were so thankful for it.
I've seen some of my friends that maybe weren't necessarily on the right path. They believed in God. They believed in God. They wanted a relationship with Him, but they didn't really know where to start, and they were kind of going down the wrong path. And I've definitely seen Him move, though, in some of their lives. Like, I have a couple of people that I'm really close with now that, in the past have not been doing the best things or in the best places, and to see God move in their life and kind of change their heart and just change the people that they are, and see the difference from where they were back then to where they are now has been awesome. And just, adding souls to heaven, it's always amazing to see people, moving away from the sinful life that they were living in towards Him.
I think right now God's teaching me to be content with the boring, if that makes sense. I think that there's something really beautiful about just being still and just the plain things in life and the repeat things in life. And I think that a lot of people get caught up in the idea that like you constantly have to be doing something new, and you have to be constantly changing and all this stuff, where I think that there's a lot of beauty in just the normal things of life, whether it's your drive to school, it's waking up, it's your eating your breakfast, it's things like that there's just so much beauty in, and those are all blessings from God, that it's really easy to overlook them. But I think right now He's been teaching me to be able to appreciate those things and love those things and be grateful for those things that He gives me, even if they don't seem like huge big blessings. they're still blessings nonetheless, and teach me how to be grateful for those.
I would say just being patient in his plan. I think a lot of times people get so caught up in wanting to see a result or something immediately. They expect to pray one time or to read their Bible one time or, to go to the gym one time and they expect to see some amazing results after one day. And it's like, I think that God has helped me see that like I need to consistently put effort forward. And even if I'm not seeing it right now, whenever I'm doing these things, they're helping me. So whenever I pray to God, whenever I read my Bible, whenever I'm making the right choices in my life, that even if I don't see the fruits of my labor right now, I'm knowing that I'm contributing to something positive, and I'm continually contributing to his plan that he has for me. And that eventually all the things that I'm doing right now will pay off, knowing that it's a part of his plan, and that if I keep moving in the right direction, continue to do the right things, that even if I don't see it right now, it'll come to fruition.
I think for me, I would ask him like what ways I can continue to serve, because that's something that's hard for me, is like finding my ways to reach out to people and things like that. And so I think I would just ask for like some advice to be like, hey, how do you want me to serve? How do you want me to reach out to people? How do you want me to share your kingdom? And like, where do you want me to be going to do these things? And I think that's something I've been praying about a lot recently, and trying to see where he wants me to be at and the way he wants me to live and people he wants me to talk to and things like this. And so I would say that's probably the question I would ask him if I had one right now.
I would say just asking him about how I can honor him more in my everyday life. I think there's sometimes we can do things that are just routine and we don't even think about them. I think that if I can talk to him and be like, hey, like, how can I honor you when I'm making breakfast? How can I honor you when I'm eating my lunch? How can I honor you when I'm going on a walk? Like, thinking about the ways that I can honor him in everything I'm doing, and not just necessarily when I'm praying or when I'm reading my Bible or when I'm talking to my friend about God. Like, honoring him in everything in my life, not just when it's easy for me to honor him or when it's convenient for me to honor him. I would say my story, what it kind of tells is just like, you don't have to have some insane revolution to honor God. There doesn't have to be some moment that, you just collapse down in tears and you just feel God's presence immensely. I don't think I've ever had anything like that where I've just, had this overcoming of Christ. But I always know that he's there, and I've always known that he loved me. So I think just knowing that you don't have to have some insane testimony to be a follower of Christ, that you can just live your mundane life in a way that honors him and glorifies him and building a relationship with him, and that doing that isn't that if your testimony is boring, like I would say mine is pretty boring. Like, I've just grown up with Christ, and I've constantly been in the church, and I've constantly trying to follow him and develop a relationship with him. That doesn't make me any less of a Christian than someone who's had some insane turnaround or transformation. And just that it's okay to be like that. Like, you don't have to be discouraged because you aren't seeing God or you aren't having some insane transformation. I think there's a lot of people that I've seen that have grown up in the church, that it's easier for them to run away from God when they're getting older, or run away from him because they aren't having that transformation. And I think it's just kind of the message of staying consistent with, like I said earlier, the everyday things, knowing that eventually they're going to pay off, and that even if you aren't seeing God right now, he's still working in your life.
Be a message of love. Like, you can do so much just by loving people, and people will see that in you. If you go to people and you care about them genuinely, and you are worried about them and you want the best for them, and you care about them so deeply, that they will see that love. Because that's not prevalent in our world right now, and that's just the truth. And it's sad, but it's something that we're missing. And so if we as Christians can be that, and we can be that love, even to those who might not love us in that same way, then that makes all the difference. Whether it's your neighbor, it's your friend, it's somebody that you don't even like, that love, and like being able to make those connections with those people, they're going to see that love of God in you, and they're going to see that light of God in you. And if you consistently make that effort, that's going to make so many connections and build you so many ways that people are going to come to Christ just naturally through seeing that love of you. Also, sometimes it can just be being a safe haven for somebody. There's been a lot of people where even if I don't know them that well, I feel like I've been able to connect with them, and they just feel like they're able to share stuff with me. And whenever they're able to share those things, and I'm able to be genuine with them and like feel that connection and be like, hey, like, it's okay, like, you have people here who are looking out for you. People notice that, and then they question, like, what does this guy have that I don't have? And it is God, it's Jesus, it's that love that I was talking about, and I think that is what it is. I know for a lot of people, it's hard to share your faith. It's hard to talk about those things. I mean, obviously in this setting, this is something within the church, so that makes it a little bit easier. And like I said, I still struggle with sharing my faith and doing a job of doing that on a regular basis and serving in that way. But don't be scared to share your story, and don't be scared to talk to people about Jesus. Like, I know we're in a world where it's scary and it's hard and it's difficult because people shame you so easily, they guilt trip you so easily, they do all of these things. But I want people to be able to be brave with their faith and know that it's cool to love Jesus. Like, it's not, there's so many things in this world that try to sneak into your life and the world tries to throw at you, but it is cool to love Jesus, and so please love Jesus.
I would say kind of like my last answer, just, especially to people that are maybe teenagers or young adults, like, even if you're not seeing God working in your life right now, He's working, and continue to stay fast to Him even when you're not seeing things, even when, if, maybe you're going through a hard time or you're going through a situation that's difficult and you're kind of like, where are you, God? Like, what's going on? Just know that He's working and it's part of His plan. At the end of the day, whatever happens, it's for His glory. That even if something bad happens, it's for His glory. That God will use any situation for Him. That doesn't mean He brings it on them, but He's using it to show His light. And yeah, just continue to keep having faith in God and knowing that at the end of the day, it'll pay off.
I love you, Mom.
Aww.
There you go.
Shout out to Dad.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too, Dad. There you go.